matchup for the Horned Frogs. Doug Sermons will toss it. He joins Terry Oglesby and Amy Bonner. Our Big 12 crew in the house for this one. As the Frogs start with the basketball to open up here. Oral Roberts will mix things up defensively. This almost feels, Colin, like a team with TCU that's going to rebound and defend against a team in Oral Roberts where everyone has a green light. It's more offense.
Yeah, they're going to get up and down. They're averaging over 87 points a game and 13.6 made three-pointers per game, which leads the nation.
Damian Ball gets a start for TCU as Manuel had it slapped away. Picked up by Miles. Has to force this three as the shot clock was winded down. And Oral Roberts comes up with a rebound here.
That was impressive to even get that online. He back ironed it, and then Emmanuel Miller almost had the offensive rebound.
There's your quick shot from Weaver off the mark, and a rebound now from Miller.
Good tough rebound in traffic there from Miller. Was able to grab that one.
Can the Horned Frogs play at the pace that Oral Roberts will like to play at?
I think they can, but does Coach Jamie Dixon want them to play at that pace, or do they want a more slow, methodical game where they can really show how good they are defensively against them?
Corner left now to Manuel, who struggles from behind the arc and gets this one to go to start. Emmanuel Miller down 3 of 10 from behind the arc for the season.
He may struggle a little bit behind the arc, but he got a shooter's roll on that one.
Yes, he did. Screen out front comes from Weaver, who gets it right back here from Asmus. Asmus is matched up on Damian Ball, draws that assignment. Penetration for Jurgens behind his back here.
Wow, what a pass that was.
Yes, it was. Asmus in traffic. 3 on the shot clock. Jurgens follows his own shot with a new 20 on the clock for him.
Ball did a nice job there closing out on Asmus, who was definitely ready to let that one fly.
Here's Kareem Thompson in the lane. Down to 4 on this shot clock. And that one will get the roll for Kareem Thompson. Decent defense, so I thought, for TCU in that sequence.
Oh, great sequence. Running guys off the three-point line. In the Tulsa game on Monday, they had 55 field goal attempts. 41 of them came from 3, so they're going to definitely shoot a lot of threes tonight.
Miller's second three-point attempt doesn't go. Lampkins follows and scores.
And it won't take long for the chance of Eddie coming from the student section tonight, because he had a huge game last time out for the Frogs. 12 points and 12 rebounds, easily his career highs.
Yeah, first career double-double for Lampkins. Asmus gets the screen. Now gives it up. This is Weaver with it on the floor. Big man with the left hand. Tip follows off the mark. And to the floor goes Lampkin to the controller.
I don't think Lampkin realized he didn't probably have to dive for that one. He probably could just ran up and picked it up, but Frogs end up with possession, so everybody's happy.
Ball for 3. Jamie Dixon didn't like that attempt. And back the other way now comes Kareem Thompson.
Yeah, it's just one of those shots you can get at almost any time.
Kicked out of bounds by the Frogs. Here's the other thing about the Oral Roberts 5 on the floor right now. For Coach Paul Mills, they can all handle the basketball too. The big men can, everyone on the open floor can.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of just the way the game is trending. Like, there's not a lot of guys, everybody in high school growing up, now everybody faces the basket, so you learn those skills as you grow up, and not a lot of back-to-the-back players who don't have those skills.
Yeah, you were looking there at number 22, Francis Lotsis out of Latvia. He's another guy that can handle it in the open floor. A little equipment issue there for Emmanuel Miller with the headband. They get that taken care of, and now Oral Roberts with possession of it. Jurgens out front's got a quick release, does not let that one fly though. Asmus has been quiet here, and the first 3-15.
Frogs doing a nice job of switching on this, and then you get a good turnover as Ball steps in front.
Ball's going to keep for the rim.
Very athletic move to continue down the floor with the quicker Asmus, and then he's not paying attention. Ball's behind him and gets another steal.
Making the most of the start here tonight, Damian Ball, the junior.
That was just a little lackadaisical there by Asmus.
Ball, the transfer from Memphis, gives to Miles. Miles, left baseline. Had a good look.
Yeah, that's a shot that he can go get anytime, too. It's a good shot.
Jurgens, there's that quick release we talked about. And Peavy with the defensive rebound there for TCU.
Coach Jamie Dixon won't be happy about that, though. Again, a wide-open 3. When you've got your defense back, everybody's got to pick up and get to the shooters.
Peavy entering out of Lampkins. Actually, that's Cork who's into the lineup. Cork off the glass. Had a good look. Xavier unable to convert there.
Now I wonder if he it would have been better served to use his left hand there to go up off the glass. I think they might have had a little piece taken off of it.
Lotsis misses that one. Oral Roberts stays alive with Weaver's offensive rebound. There's the first field goal attempt of the night. It won't be the last for Asmus, and he misses it.
And think about that, too. He got it all the way out there.
Frogs lead by 6, their largest of the game.
Frogs doing a good job so far on Asmus. Want to make sure that they stay out. Keep doing their switches.
A front steal here.
It's probably lucky for the Frogs, honestly, that they got called for a foul there, because Cork and Miles got confused on the switch here, and they both end up guarding the initial guy with the screen.
That was Lotsis. Foul here.
Asmus was wide open in the corner waiting for the ball for a 3.
The foul was on Mike Miles' turnover this time as Phipps tried to get it down low to Weaver.
This is a pace that, TCU doesn't usually get out of rebounds and have outlets and push the ball up the floor like they have so far.
O'Bannon took 3.
I think that really honestly kind of facilitated a little bit more of a scramble mode on defense there for Oral Roberts, and ends up with O'Bannon circling around for a wide open 3.
Lotsis send it cross court here to Thompson. Kareem to Lotsis. Big fella can shoot it and scores that one. Does the senior. And it's 11-5 TCU.
Well, that's his 10th made 3, so he's certainly capable. Court can't really help off that much because he's not going to do anything 2 feet inside the 3-point line. Trying to help there.
Tries to answer. And Weaver with good position that time on court.
Carabella did a nice job picking up way outside just after half court there.
Forced that one, did Weaver, in a rundown here on the long rebound. Find a cutter for the lay-in for Weaver. That was a good look.
That was a good look and a good cut there by Weaver. Saw the lane vacated and made the cut and had an easy pass for an easy layup.
Cork with it out top now. Oral Robertson, the man-to-man. Miles around the screen, keeps. A lot of contact, no whistle. Cork with the offensive rebound of the follow. Got it.
Nice patience by Cork there, regathering himself, getting himself on balance and keeping his footwork to get an easy little jump hook off the glass there. Frogs working hard on the offensive glass like they have all season, basically.
6-point margin again. Asmus, Lotsis, both can shoot it from the perimeter. Trey Phipps on the floor as well. He catches right wing. They'll go baseline. The transfer from OU, tried to leave it behind his back. Somehow here's a catch and shoot for Asmus. Doesn't get the roll.
Got a leak out here to O'Bannon.
O'Bannon strong to the rim.
Good job by Mike Miles Jr. recognizing that O'Bannon ran through the initial shot by Asmus, and that his momentum's already carrying him down floor. So if the Frogs get a clean rebound, it usually ends up in a layup.
Out front with it now. Lotsis finds Asmus for the floater and misses.
That was a good cut there by Asmus too.
Yeah. Surprising miss. 0 for 3 to start. Miles out front. We work toward the 12-minute mark of this first half. TCU their largest lead, up by 8 right now. You hear Jamie Dixon in the background. He wants a set play here. Cork. There's Miller. Misses a second long rebound that Trey Phipps runs down. Asmus still looking for his first basket of the game. Pick up the pace a little bit here in the half court. McBride's in at one of the guard spots and a turnover.
Yeah, Ball just walked right into that free steal. And that's his 3rd of the game already.
Scores it right over Asmus.
And then takes advantage of the height. He's having a nice start to the game tonight.
Isaac McBride, the sophomore with the basketball right now to Little Rock. Transfer from Vandy. Working on Fran Farabella. Commits to the air. Corner to Phipps, who can shoot it and does.
That's a tough guard for Baugh to leave Asmus to go to the top of the key, because then that puts O'Bannon in a tough spot, having to jump to Asmus, who then kicks it to the corner for the wide open three.
Trey Phipps, the Oklahoma transfer. Skip it to the corner left, Emmanuel. Frogs going to back it out here for the final 8 seconds of this shot clock. Big screen from Lampkin, who gets it right back from Baugh. Quick hands of Phipps to knock it down.
Yeah, it was a nice shot by Phipps to get in there. As soon as Eddie Lampkin brought it down to his waist, he's able to swat it away. Frogs down with only 2 seconds on the shot clock. And they haven't had a lot of plays out of bounds this year that goes straight to a jump shot. So somebody's going to have to catch and just go up with it pretty almost right away.
Ball will trigger the inbounds underneath the TCU basket here.
Oh, it's a tough spot. The ball just put him in.
Yep, Farabella. Deep three. The rebound here as he hit the rim right as 1 second was left on the shot clock, and a follow for Jacoby Coles, and he'll get to the free throw line. You're right. I mean, you got to know where you are as far as the shot clock is concerned, right?
Yeah, I think Baugh knew that. Surely he knew there was a shot clock, but I guess he just doesn't realize that he puts Farabello almost at half court and retreating.
Right.
Farabello did a nice job just even get that shot to the rim.
Yep. Coles on the offensive glass now. We'll get to the free throw line after the foul, after the follow.
It's already 3 misses for the Frogs at the free throw line tonight.
Kareem Thompson back into the lineup now for Oral Roberts as Francis Lotsis sits. Coles makes a second. TCU by 9. They've led by as many as 11 in this first half. Here's McBride. Blocked. O'Bannon got that one. Baugh leaves for Coles in the lane. Follow the shot.
Absolutely. Coles just did a nice job following up there, but Baugh forced that issue right there. Frogs really looking to get out and push the pace a little bit. We really haven't seen that aspect of their game this year.
That's why I ask you, is he comfortable? Is Jamie Dixon comfortable with his team running? I think he's kind of comfortable with any game you name with this group.
We talked about getting the different opportunities to play against different styles before conference comes. This might be the game that he wanted to get out and run and told him, let's go.
O'Bannon on the offensive end.
All right. And Eddie's enthusiasm and just energy on the floor is contagious for all of his teammates.
Thompson crossover up front around Coles. Phipps, who can get rid of it quickly, steps back. Misses that one.
Nice job by Baugh to go chase that one down.
Well, Davian Ball's played well here early on.
Game.
Here's Lampkins running the floor again. Peavy back out there. Shahada Wells in for the first time. Around Thompson. Coles. He's missed a couple right there.
He's being aggressive going to the basket. You gotta like to see that because he's been mostly a three-point shooter for the Frogs this year as well.
Another reset here in the half court. Skip it to Peavy. Lampkins follows.
It's amazing. Lampkin is so big that you can't move him off the block if he's already down there. And the rebound he didn't even have to jump for it. He just falls in his lap because he's holding off the defender.
Okay, you're going to score that one as an assist also?
I'm going to give that one an offensive rebound.
Okay, all right. Another turnover here. No look pass up floor. Wells gets it back to Ball. Peavy, strong, short, follows, score it. Back.
Amazing concentration and athleticism there from Peavy off the spin move, hits the contact, goes up, the ball comes back to him off the rim and is able to contact here and then just go straight back up and get it, and hoop in the harm.
It didn't come down with the basketball, right? He catches, releases before catch, release.
Look how quickly he got right back up in the air. Tremendous play.
To the free throw line goes Peavy now. 50% free throw shooter on the year, trying to stretch this out to an 18-point ball game.
So out of nowhere, coming out of that last time out, it was a 9-9 in the rebound battle. And the Frogs have ripped off 9 of the last 10 rebounds. And the score is reflecting that as the Frogs are up 17 early here.
Coles whistled for the foul over the back there, trying to fight for that rebound. He'll check out as Miller gets in for him.
It's the great thing about being so deep for the Frogs as well, and everybody on the bench really excited right now. Everybody can't wait to get in there. Everybody's really aggressively going for rebounds. It's a lot of fun to play when everybody's excited and playing with a lot of energy.
Lampkin's out, Dumbia's in. He's in chase there. And I tell you what, give credit to Dumbia for that turnover there, as you had to get it over the top of him, did Asmus, and he threw it too far for Jurgens.
Yep, Asmus decided better of trying to get the shot off and had to try to pass it out and just had a tough angle for it. Able to create the turnover.
8:05 to play. Miller working it, Jurgens on his back. Emmanuel's going to spin it out front. Wells in traffic. Followed it. Nice job, Shaheda. Another loose ball rebound here.
Even Hayda Wells getting in the offensive rebounding act tonight.
Yeah, Peavy keeps.
Frogs are leading rebound 20-12.
They're going to count the bucket here. Sermon said it was hit. Yeah, they're going to call the foul here on Miller. Here's another look at it. Let's see. Count the bucket for the goaltend.
The goaltend is when he may have smacked the glass there. Anyway, back to real quick to my rebounding story. Frogs were up 20-12 in rebounds, but nobody on the Frogs has more than 3 rebounds.
Yeah, when you go 11 deep, right? Yep.
When you go that, well, not just when you go that deep. It's like, who do you box out? And you try to box out everybody, but you can't just concentrate on one guy.
And we've talked about the fact there are many possessions where you got 4 guys crashing the boards.
Yes.
Here early on in the season, we got an offensive foul here, and I think this one is going to be on Dumbia. It is. Yeah, he's going to check out. Lampkin's going to get in for him. It's interesting because Jamie Dixon was trying to get a sub in for him anyway, and that expedites matters when you get that foul away from the ball like that.
Yeah, if you're about to be subbed out, you don't want to be the one to create to create the foul.
Phipps travels. Good defense there by Michael Peavy.
Yeah, that's just, you can see how far he is. He's like only a step over the half-court line, and the pressure is that much outside of the three-point line from Micah Peavy, guard to guard, and that's got to be the defensive strategy tonight for the Frogs. You've got to guard guys all the way around the perimeter, and that means sometimes extending it all the way out that far.
Flirting with 7 minutes left in this first half. A little high-low action. Miller, unable to convert. Stays with it, though. Roberts will come out of there.
I don't know how he came up with it to begin with after that miss. He was the only one around there in purple.
McBride from the elbow. Miles with the rebound now. Miller baseline. McBride did a nice job anticipating that pass.
Yeah, Miller got himself caught a little too far down the baseline behind the backboard, and the only pass that he had was on the ground on a bounce pass, and it was right to McBride.
Lotzis, and he travels. Jamie Dixon was in the air. Doug Sermon's there. May have had a little role in that call.
That's already the 8th turnover for Oral Roberts tonight.
Ball comes in for Wells. Now you see Paul Mills in his 5th year at Oral Roberts. Longtime assistant at Baylor. Wells walks it up. Been impressed with Damian Baugh and just his presence on the floor. Really on both ends. There's a nice pass to the big man. Cole's cut through.
Yeah, Ball's doing a really nice job defensively tonight against Asmus for sure. 3 steals already.
3 on the shot clock. And then Kansas 3.
That's a great possession considering how much time you had left on the shot clock. You got, a great shot to get with that much time left on the shot clock. That's how much respect Mike Miles Jr. gets. Draws a double team with 3 seconds to go. Is able to find Ball wide open for 3.
Answer here from Francis Lotzis.
Yeah, he's got 2 made threes now. Frogs are going to have to locate him on the perimeter, and frankly need to locate every single one of their players on the perimeter. They can all fill it up.
Yeah, all have the green light too. Here's Peavy. Draws the defense.
Trying to go get an offensive rebound. They're also ingrained in their mind that they want to go get that offensive rebound. It was everything else leading up to that point was a great play by Peavy.
Jurgens, Lotzis on the move. Around Cole.
Lotzis having a nice little game here.
He is.
Early on.
Good player. That's going to get a timeout. Miles walks it up. Skip it over to Peavy. Corner right is ball. Down to 10 on the shot clock now. See if it leaves Miles' hands.
Yeah, they were actually carrying the ball to shoot that one.
Fading away. Doesn't get the roll.
He had to shoot that one up over the top of the corner of the backboard.
Right. Asmus in traffic. And there's his first bucket of this game. He comes in. Does Max Asmus, averaging 22 a game.
Yeah, it likely won't be his last either.
Ball to Peavy. Frogs have slowed things down a bit offensively. Colin, they were pretty efficient when they were moving it fast.
Yeah, they scored with, got great shots out of the offense, and there's another player right there. Chuck O'Bannon stepping into a three-point shot. He's had a nice game as well, already with 8 points.
Second three for O'Bannon. Lotsis to answer. And he does again.
I mean, I know everybody's got their focus on Asmus trying to find him, but they're going to have to find Lotsis too.
Yeah.
You guys on fire.
3:38 left here in this first half. Ball. Entry now. Ball loses it and finds it again. O'Bannon.
O'Bannon with a big answer. Nice cut there. For the easy jam, coming in hard.
Deep three, Asmus.
And there you go. He got an easy bat. He got his first basket, and then he got his second basket. Now he's got his third. Bam, bam, bam.
He broke the seal, right?
Yes, he did.
3:05 left in the half. Lead is down to single digits now for ORU. In chase of that 9-point advantage for the Frogs. Here's Miles working on McBride. Screen Lampkin. Miles in traffic. That's going to be a turn
down. So that's a something the Frogs are going to have to make sure they pay attention to.
Asmus, who played at Dallas Jesuit, has it out front. Deep three here. Doesn't go on the rebound for O'Bannon, who's had a nice half.
Now, I know he can shoot the ball really well, but Frogs will take that shot all day long.
Yeah, you let him have that one, right?
I don't know about completely let have. You still want to contest it, but
right.
But if he's going to shoot a three, that's the one you want him to take.
Peavy now Miles. Miles with a floater for the free throw line. There's a little off balance here.
And you can see he just kind of babied the shot up there instead of really shooting it like, I like to say, shoot it like you mean it.
Right. Lotsis. Juergens. Less than 2 minutes to play in the half. There's McBride. O'Bannon may have got a piece of that one. Rebound fought for, and Peavy rips it out of there.
Nice box out there by Peavy, and a good contest on the shot there by O'Bannon.
Here's a cutter. Ball to the rim.
Wow, tremendous finish there. Having to extend the left hand and just got it up over the rim. Paul having a nice game.
There he is. He's got 9 points here in this first half on 4 of 5 shooting. 3 boards as well for Damian Paul. Got the start here tonight. Asmus gives it up.
That's a really difficult thing to do, stay on your feet when you know he's going to try to shoot it and leave his feet, so you try to block it.
Juergens gives it up. Frogs won a 3-second count. Jamie Dixon was lobbying for it a couple of times on that possession. A minute left in the half.
Frogs can take this down to about 6 or 7 seconds. Go for a 2-for-1.
Lampkins forces that one.
That probably wasn't the shot that Coach Dixon was looking for.
I don't think so.
We talked about at the beginning, though, everybody plays face up nowadays.
Yep. Foul here is going to be on the Horned Frogs. Micah Peavy trying to slow him down there.
Not a terrible foul, too. Frogs had one to give there.
Yeah, 16 foul. Been a fairly clean first half. Oral Roberts only has 14 fouls in this first half. And Xavier Court comes in now for Lampkins. McBride with it out front on Farabella. Asmus got his man in the air. Farabella, nice job switching defensively.
Yep, and not leaving his feet, just staying on the floor.
There's McBride. Pulls the trigger on the three and scores it.
Plenty of time for the Frogs to go down here and get the last shot.
Yep, shot clock is off. Lead is 8. Ball with it. Down low court with the left hand. Got the roll.
It's a great finish with the left hand. They got to pick him up. Ball did a nice job of recognizing that and picking up Asmus top to bottom.
Yeah, it's the best team or the best league in the country for sure. Lotsis had it slapped away. Chuck O'Bannon thought that Lotsis hit his last. Pretty good defense out of the block now for the Horned Frogs. Asmus along with Jurgens. Lotsis on the floor. Here's Asmus over Lampkins, who got a piece of it. And a rebound now to Mike Miles. Miles pushes. He'll take it to the rim. Lotsis slapped that one away. So to start this second half for the Horned Frogs, Chuck O'Bannon gets a start along with Ball and Miles, Lampkins and Miller for TCU.
So that was an interesting play on the other end. Lampkin goes up and makes it a difficult shot for Asmus, who ends up on the ground with Eddie on top of him as O'Bannon misses the jumper here. And when they were getting up, none of the officials were in the back watching what's going on. Usually when two guys are on the ground kind of tangled up, the officials are back watching what's going on behind. And when they got down to the other end, Eddie turned around to Asmus and says, "You okay, you good?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm good." Because he almost fell on it.
Here's Weaver for the turnaround, got it to go. Minute into this second half. Out front with it works O'Bannon. Lampkin rolling the lane there. Miller. Oh, Robertson the man-to-man. Free throw line Ball.
That's good offense right there.
Collision down below as Lampkin was tied up. They're going to count the bucket and then call Eddie Lampkin with the foul as he and Lotsis were fighting for position down low.
Yeah, Eddie's so big that he can knock almost anybody over if he's got a head of steam coming in for an offensive rebound as he set the screen high for Ball.
Lotsis with O'Bannon on his back, looking at wide open. What a cut by Kareem Thompson. Just snuck behind the defense.
So I was wondering what Eddie Lampkin was doing up here on the elbow. He was playing on the high side of the offensive player, and Ball kind of stepped over to try to help, and then his guy just cut back door for an easy layup. Frogs completely out of position there on the defensive end.
Here's Ball. They clear out for him for the lead.
That's a nice take advantage of what's in front of you for Ball. And he's out here completely denying Asmus here, making him work for everything.
10-point ball game. In a steal, O'Bannon. Chuck for the dunk.
O'Bannon showing off the defensive skills as well as the offensive skills tonight, running through the passing lane. Finishes on the break. Asmus wanted no part of trying to contest that.
O'Bannon's having a night. 12 points here for the Horned Frogs. Out front with it, Thompson. Lotsis. Jurgens almost had his pocket picked. Chuck thought he got it. They got to get him with a foul.
Yeah, Chuck O'Bannon's really feeding and playing nice defense there. Got his hand in. Looked like he picked the pocket, but here we go back to the previous play where he runs through the passing lane. Just a lazy pass there by Asmus. And then Asmus had no interest in getting in the way of that.
Can't blame him. Asmus gives this one up now to Lotsis. Weaver for three.
That was a nice contest from Eddie Lampkin. It was just a better shot there from Weaver.
Yeah, just Shane Weaver out of Houston, played at Cypress Falls. He's a junior.
But it really is amazing how many guys can shoot for Oral Roberts. They average almost 14 made threes a game.
Miller down low, Lampkin. Nice spin with the left hand.
He set him up all the way. He's just saying, he looks like I'm faking, I'm going to go right. I'm going to go right. And then he just set him up and spun him back left off the glass. Good footwork there by the big fella.
Ball went after the steal. Weaver again, nice little head fake.
Yeah, and that's all it took right there. Eddie's so energetic and wanting to come out and defend so hard. All it took was a little nod to get him off his feet a little bit.
Lead at 9.
You don't feel safe with a 9-point lead against Oral Roberts just because they shoot the ball so well as well.
It can dissipate quickly.
I mean, you don't feel like they've gotten hot yet, but they're certainly capable of it. Frogs got to be able to continue to add to this lead here.
Miller's three's off the mark. Jurgens leaves for Thompson. Skip it over, left all along. That's going to go every time.
The Frogs will want to have a good possession offensively here. Try to extend that lead again.
Here's PV out front with it now. Micah gives it up to Damian Paul. Farabella. Now PV. Crossover. Trying to step around. Instead, Farabella can't handle the pass. Damian Paul's quick enough to stay with him, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Hasemas has got to play the whole 40 minutes. Like, he's not going to come out of the game in a game like this.
And an offensive foul on a moving screen here by Francis Latzis.
So by the end of the game, you feel like he might be pretty worn down. He sees that every single night, though, as well.
16 NBA scouts in the building here tonight to watch Max Hasemas and Mike Miles, among others. PV entering out of Coles.
That was an interesting entry pass because you put Coles in a position where he could have been double teamed right there on the baseline in a tough spot. Not a lot of advantage there for the Frogs once he catches it there.
7 on the shot clock for Ball. Nice look. Court was just surprised that he was wide open.
Yeah, he tried to gather himself thinking he was going to have the defensive fan slide over and try to defend him there. And he's like, oh, I'm wide open. I'm going to go up and just jam it real quick.
Hasemas gives it up for Weaver. Ball with a rebound. Threw it behind Peavy.
That's part of the Frogs not used to pushing the ball and running. Peavy was already ready to make a cut and run through. Ball's trying to advance the ball to him.
There's Cork with it. Facing Weaver, and he threw that one away. Trying to get it to Coles, cutting. You know, the thing about Damian Ball, I want to go back to that conversation, is Cork with the turnover there. At 6'4", he's a solid basketball player, but he's 6'4". And if you've got him, he's really been kind of running the point here today. That's a tough matchup for folks.
That's a tough matchup for anybody, absolutely. And a really, really good defender. And remember, he's still coming off that ankle injury in the first game of the season, so he's not 100% yet. I think he's only going to get better as the season goes along.
Eddie Lampkin comes in now for Xavier Cork. ORU with the basketball here with 14-15 to go. They're within 8 of the Frogs. Thompson, nice job, quick hands of Peavy to slap that one away. Phipps back in the lineup for the Golden Eagles, Trey Phipps.
I feel like the Frogs need to talk a little bit more defensively. He had 2 guys guarding 1 guy, and nobody was talking to each other.
And there's Thompson for 3. That might be why Lampkin's back on the floor as well. Lampkin, one of the better talkers on this team.
Yeah, no question. He's definitely, especially in a pick and roll situation, letting guys know that he's helping or hedging or what he's doing.
Free throw line, Miles.
I like the aggressiveness on Miles. That's a shot that he can knock down a high percentage of.
Hasemas gives it up. Weaver.
Nice shot by Coles, coming back for that rebound.
Farabella hesitated for a second to throw that one to Coles. On the secondary. Here's Lampkin. Nice look. Left him open.
Coles had his hand up in the corner for about 3 seconds there before the ball finally made its way to him.
13 minutes left in the second half. Lead is at 5. Oh, Roberts coming off a win against Tulsa. Overtime loss against Oklahoma State. Their in-state rivals, a miss there. Back the other way comes Miles.
Frogs running a little bit again.
There's Farabella.
And that's a good shot for Farabella. I like him coming in with confidence, stepping into a shot. He can knock down a high percentage of that. career 42% three-point shooter.
Aismans doesn't miss.
Got to find him on the transition, though.
Frogs are just 4 of 15 from behind the arc in this game, Colin.
And he's had a couple threes that he made where he was just wide open, and guys got to get out and guard him again.
64% of the second half from the floor for Oral Roberts. Miller baseline. Out front it comes now. Miles, O'Bannon, Miller again. To the elbow. Miles. Offensive putback for Miller and a foul.
Miller staying aggressive there on the offensive rebounds.
There's another look at it. Miles just is, you know, he's missed a couple like that tonight where it just simply hasn't gotten the roll.
Yeah, just rimming out a little bit. He's off just a little bit. But we've seen a couple of games where he's had that earlier in a game, and then he finishes strong and always has a couple of buckets down the stretch to really help seal the win.
Miller's free throw is good.
We were talking at the break that, you know, this has been a very loosely called game. Only 4 fouls here, 2 on each team here in the second half.
It's been a clean game.
Clean game. Not a lot of the fouls to be had.
Thompson with it out front, trying to shake Phipps free. Instead is Lanis who gives it up now. Aismans. Step back jumper over Miller.
And that's the kind of shot that he can go make his own shot, and you need to be able to do in the NBA, and that's what the scouts are here to really see.
Yep. He's got 14 now. So he makes that 3 there. The lead is down to 1 for TCU with 11:15 to go. Miller baseline. O'Bannon feeds it Lampkin. Nice behind the back to O'Bannon, who had a block. Thompson.
Yeah, it was going to be a tough finish there for O'Bannon going baseline. Not able to really elevate since he was caught behind the backboard, but good idea from Lampkin to drop it off to him on the cut.
Phipps. Good ball movement here for Oral Roberts as this one goes out of bounds off of TCU.
Yeah, that shows you right there what they're thinking, right? They're not looking for the easy, I say easy, the open 10 to 12 foot jump shot. If you got a teammate open on the 3-point line, they're kicking it out looking for that 3-pointer.
Elijah Lufilia is into the lineup. There's Thompson to the rim. Kareem gives Oral Roberts the lead now at 52-51. Their only lead of the game is right here.
Yeah, and it's all based on TCU's defensive lack of execution. As Miller knocks down cover, get the lead right back to the Frogs. The Frogs got to step up the energy on the defensive end and really locate Aismans especially.
Thompson. Aismans on ball. Rebound here. Misses a couple of times, does Lufilia. Tied up. Jump ball is to the floor, goes Lampkin.
You can see the promise and how good Aismans is going to be. Paul was on, and a very good defender was all up on him, and he's still able to get off a clean shot. And it was just a couple inches short, hitting the front rim there. As Lampkin gets on the deck to get the jump ball to secure possession for the Frogs. The Frogs get a stop that they desperately needed here.
Jamie Dixon pointing out there was only one Horned Frog on the floor, though, after that loose ball, and that was Lampkin.
And he's been on the floor a number of times tonight.
Miles with it. Miller looking for Lampkin. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Mike for 3.
Mike Miles there with the first basket. He was 0 for 10 up to that point from the floor. Couldn't have picked a better time to extend the lead here for the Frogs.
This might be Aismans versus Miles down the stretch. There it is right there. Miles got the best of him defensively.
O'Bannon's calling for the ball here. You got 2-on-1 on the right side. Miles finds the lane, though. Takes to the basket and scores.
Aismans back the other way. Phipps can shoot it and does.
Turning into a rec game here.
Yep.
Really getting up and down. Crowd getting into this now.
Trey Phipps, the OU transfer, knocks in the three-pointer there. 3-point TCU lead. 58-55. Miller. In and out. Good look. That's an offensive foul here. LaFilia with the forearm into the chest of ball.
Yeah, you kind of felt like he was calling for it, but he caught it 16 feet from the basket. Baugh just held his ground. He knew he was going to pull his way into the basket there.
Lampkin checks out. Xavier Court comes in. Farabella's going to come in for Ball. So you go Farabella and Miles, Court, Peavy, and O'Bannon.
I wouldn't expect Baugh to be on the bench for too long.
Nope.
Give him about a minute, catch your breath, get under that under 8 timeout.
Tony Benford, as he walked up, the assistant coach of Jamie Dixon says, "We're going to need you." Here's Miles. Peavy from the free throw line.
Miles is starting to get into the flow right now. He's drawing all kinds of attention. He's able to open up a shot there for Peavy. Knocks down his second basket of the night.
And again, the Frogs are playing better when the pace is quicker, Colin.
Yeah, no question. They're getting better shots, better looks, and they get a little slow and clunky in the half-court offense when they're not pushing the ball.
Here's Phipps again on Farabella. Trey stays with it. Peavy blocked it.
Yeah, Peavy was in the right spot there, right behind him. Phipps didn't see him.
Four-court Farabella. Miles bump. A lot of contact, no call on the last 2 possessions.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked that he didn't get that one. There's an awful lot of contact.
Three-pointer this time doesn't go.
Got to come down. Got to come down and make the next play, though.
Frogs a little tired right now. They get a timeout of the next dead ball. Miles, 3. Got it.
And he knew he was going to take that 3 right there. He's still feeling it on the offensive end. And as soon as Asmus backed up off of him, right in rhythm, 1-2 shot. Miles starting to heat up.
Lead back to 8. He's got 9. Watch this. Finding a cutter. Ace
court, and he was the only one trying to get the ball. That would have been a tough inbounds for Farabello. And the music was so loud, he's screaming at his teammates, and nobody could hear him.
Miles gets it across. Farabello with the screen for him. Mike out front to the rim.
Yeah, he's feeling it now. 4 in his last 4 shots.
Max Asmus. Now you take a bigger player and put Micah Peavy on it.
Yeah, I think you keep throwing different looks at him because he was starting to get a little too comfortable.
McBride over court.
That was a good finish right there. Tough finish.
McBride's a pretty good player.
He is a good player. He's had a nice game tonight, too. Just kind of quietly going about his business, playing hard, playing good defense, knocking down a bucket here and there.
Pressure in the backcourt being applied by Oral Roberts. 8-point ball game. Miles gives it up to Peavy this time. Screen for Mike to fire a 3 off the mark. Court with the follow, missed it. Tip follow again for Peavy, who keeps it alive. In the lane, there's Farabella, thought about it.
Peavy just has a knack for coming up for those offensive rebounds. It's actually incredible how many he gets sometimes.
Bumped here is Miles before the shot. You know, I felt like Court hesitated on that rebound. If he goes straight back with it, he scores.
100%. I think you keep it high, you get it up on the glass right away, and he makes that basket. But since he hesitated, kind of gathered himself a little bit to go back up, it allowed the defender to get up and time his jump a little bit better to block the shot. Just get a fingernail on it.
5:21 left in this one. Miles in traffic. Here's Miller. Oh, they're going to call an offensive foul And Emmanuel Miller.
Yeah, he was coming to a jump stop, and he's got so much momentum that when he comes to a jump stop, he literally almost broad jumps like 7 feet, and he ends up carrying himself into the defender. Naismith takes a charge there.
Little bump there from I thought he might have traveled. Nice look here. Blocked by Miller, though.
That's Miller just being athletic enough to make up for that overplay. That backdoor cut has been there tonight for Oral Roberts, and it'll probably stay there. Frogs might have to adjust.
Lead stays at 8 with 4:48 to go. Peavy in traffic.
Nice up and under right there. Good fundamental move by Peavy. Get his defender up in the air, step right through, get it up over the rim.
That's really his game. And then
that's a great move for him. But right there, just a token pressure. Miles got to be ready for a double team jump, though, and nobody's coming back to him. He's lucky he's able to have good enough moves with the behind the back to go down to the paint and score. If he wasn't able to pull that off, he was absolutely in jail. Nobody was paying attention that he was getting jumped here. If he picks up that dribble, that's a turnover.
You didn't need anything else, you had Mike Miles.
That doesn't always work in real life. That was just him being extraordinary on that play for sure.
Weaver misses, Peavy pushes.
But his teammates absolutely need to recognize that.
Right.
Especially the guy who's guarding you is the one who went to double team.
I wonder, though, if you see it so much in practice, you go, he's going to work his way out of that.
You know, I think in the way they run the offense, sometimes Mike usually just walks the ball up the floor and he's dribbling up top a lot as he shoots another three here.
Forced that one a bit.
But they're used to that and then kind of setting up their offense, going to their spots, and he's just not ready to. They're not ready to come back.
Naismith misses that one. Rebound from Miller.
Well, he ran directly at an odd angle to get to that three-point line, though, and still almost knocked it down.
I don't know that he got his shoulders turned, did he?
I don't think so, but he got it on line, that's for sure.
Here's Miles. Floater. Too strong. Peavy overplayed on that rebound. Back the other way. Ace with it. 3:07 left. Farabella's going to get into the next dead ball. Ace misses. Rebound taken out of by Peavy. Bodies on the floor. Frogs don't have numbers.
They're looking to run a little clock here with a 9-point lead. Get a good shot.
Frogs want to get Farabella on the floor. I wouldn't be surprised if it's from Miles, who's worn out right now.
They got an under 4 timeout coming still.
Yep, at the next dead ball. Peavy in the corner. Fall away blocked.
Just missed playing for him. I came in the year after he left TCU.
And went to Oral Roberts as a longtime assistant, which Coach Sutton, he's a good dude, is Connolly Phipps. Good basketball coach, too. Had some great teams at Booker T. Washington and Tulsa. Here's Abrams. Oral Roberts within 9 of the Frogs. Jurgens thought about it. Instead, it's going to be Latkes.
Well, they didn't get paid off on that possession, but that was terrific ball movement for Oral Roberts. Ended up in a wide open shot.
.2:11 to go. Jurgens trying to get it to Asmus. In traffic, bump by Ball, and an offensive foul. Asmus was trying to create it. You know what, I like Asmus's demeanor there, though. He could have complained, could have given the palms up, but didn't do it.
Yeah, it's one of those where he initiated contact with the shoulder, but only because the arm went up a little bit, and Bob was retreating after the hit. Was that called?
Minute 59 left in this one. 69-60 right now. Horned Frogs trying to hold on here to go to 6-1 on the season and a perfect 5-0 start here at Schollmeyer Arena. Skip it over. Ball misses. And a rebound here. Oral Roberts not done yet.
Got to find the shooters.
Jurgens bumped by Lampkin, who got his money's worth.
He got an awful lot of ball. I think Lampkin is just so big, 270. He comes in and gets you on the hip. You're going to go down pretty hard. Jurgens going, hits him on the hip, but he got all ball.
Well, here's the thing too: if you're Eddie Lampkin, you want to make sure he doesn't have any chance to score there.
No question.
Because you know you're going to foul him. Just make sure that ball doesn't have any chance of going in.
It just looked a lot worse than it was also.
Jurgens misses the free throw. 74% free throw shooter out of Estonia. Herron's going to get in the lineup now. Sir Isaac Herron, a freshman from Houston. He's the 18th best player in the state of Texas coming out of high school.
They might start trying to play the foul game a little earlier than normal. They need to extend this game as long as they can.
Jurgens missed them both, but they get the rebound thanks to Herron, who just checked in. Asmus got the three.
Batting 1,000.
Right. Miles gets it.
Yeah, but they're going to play it out this possession here.
1:18 to go.
Frogs will use a little clock here.
Yep, why not?
Still want to get a good shot, so you don't want to take too much. You want to start your offense with enough time to still go get a good shot, not to force up a crazy shot.
Right now it's a two-possession game. Miles skips it. Jumper short. O'Bannon with the offensive rebound, though.
Boy, he slipped, too, coming back to get that offensive rebound. Almost wasn't able to get to it because of the slip. Shot clock already under 10.
Ball, corner left. Farabella can't handle it. Down to 36 seconds left.
Yeah, Farabella's got to come back to that, help his teammate out.
Here's Ball, defending on Asmus. Trying to shake him free, using a lot of time here, down by 6. Asmus gets it right back. And a foul here before the shot. Lampkin with the bump. See if Lampkin stays out there. They're going to get Miller back out on the floor.
Doug Sermon's had a few things to say to Lampkin there because he had a little follow through after the shot goes up, and Asmus didn't react to it in any way. I don't know that there was any reason to necessarily have to say anything.
Of course, that's Asmus's game too. He's not going to react.
Yep, he's cool customer for sure.
He is. Thompson to inbounds. They get it to Asmus. Tried to force it, lost the handle on it. Frogs come up with it. 17 seconds left. Miles, forecourt. Miller. That should do it.
Yeah, great job by Miles, not letting him get fouled, let himself get fouled. He stopped, was able to find Miller cutting down the middle of the court for the easy jam.
Asmus forces one. O'Bannon can't claim it, then blocks it. Miles claims it,